Okay, so can everybody see me? Let me know. I'm going live for Transformation Tuesday. Hopefully this works because no other way that we've tried it has worked. So let me know if you can see me. Okay, is everything okay? Does it sound good? Give me some feedback if it's sounding good. Okay, so I guess I will start my testimony and then people will just join in later. So, as Agra said, my name's Heather Peters, and so it is an honor to be asked to do Transformation Tuesday. A little nerve-wracking because I don't guess I've ever fully given my whole testimony all at once. Maybe bits and pieces here and there, but never fully given it. So, as I was saying earlier, before our Facebook Live went really wrong, this month marks 19 years that I have been saved. Been ups and downs, of course, as in everybody's, but God's brought me thus far, and I know He'll continue to bring me on. So my testimony isn't like most people's or some people's. I've never done drugs or been on alcohol or anything like that, but God is still great, and it doesn't matter. Everybody's testimony is unique to them, and it's great and it's awesome. So I guess to start with, I got saved when I was 12, and everything was going good and going fine. Been raised in church all of my life, literally from the time I was newborn up until this very moment. I've always been in church. And so in high school, I think it was like 11th grade, I had never thought of anything because all of the friends that I hung out believed in God and were saved, and of course all of my family, and so it had never really dawned on me until one day, and the thought came to me, what if God isn't real? And I know that that's weird to think, being raised in church, that thought would shake your entire world, but it did. And so in 11th grade, I suffered greatly from panic attacks and anxiety, and it never was that I quit believing in God, because I never, ever didn't believe God, but it was just that thought of what if He isn't real, and that just shook me. And of course, the enemy would whisper in my mind, you're the only Christian who's ever thought this, and you're so horrible and awful because you have thought this, and because, you are, and that just made the panic and the anxiety worse. And so time went on. I lost a lot of weight in middle school. I was, I guess, kind of chunky. And in high school, I had lost a lot of weight because it had got to the point with anxiety and panic attacks that I couldn't eat. I was very, very, very miserable human being. Never quit going to church. Never quit serving God. Never quit praying. Just all of the what ifs of life just came flooding in. And so finally went through that. People say you have to live day by day, but at that point in my life, I had to live moment by moment because I couldn't think a full day in advance. And the enemy, I never actually attempted suicide, but the thought would always come to my mind, you're always going to live like this, you're always going to be this miserable, just kill yourself because it's never going to get better. And like I said, I never tried, but those thoughts would always come flooding in, just kill yourself and get it over with. And so one night, as I had just dealt with it as long as I could deal with it, I was laying in bed praying, and I was just praying, and all of a sudden God spoke to me, and I know it was God, and I'll never forget it as long as I live. And He spoke to me and said, peace be still. And from that moment on, I had peace. I couldn't worry, I couldn't pray, I couldn't think of anything. All I knew is that the God of the universe had spoke, peace be still, to me, And from that moment on, I'm not saying that it instantly got better, but from that moment on, that was my, okay, we're going from here on. And so now, several years later, I haven't had a panic attack or an anxiety attack, and just, I'm not saying life has always been a bed of roses, because if you're a Christian, you're going to go through things. But I am here to tell you that God definitely can deliver you from panic attacks and anxiety. I can tell you that. That is my testimony, I guess. And then in 2010, God called me to preach His Word. And so I hesitated a little while, but then finally accepted that call to preach. And so in 2011, I got ordained. And from that point on, I've been preaching God's Word, trying to get the word out that Jesus loves you. And for those of you who are out there suffering from panic attacks and anxiety attacks, I am here to tell you that God is a deliverer. I'm not saying that there is anything wrong with taking medicine for that, but I am here to tell you that God can flat out deliver you from it, and He can completely heal you, because He did me. So I've not got a super long testimony, I don't guess, but that is the life of me. God's just brought me a long way, been through some things, been through a church mess, and God brought me through that. And now I've been the member at the church that I'm at now for, in November, will make a year. And just thankful that God is using me to tell people that He does love you, and that He cares for you, and that He can set you free from whatever. If there's anybody out there listening who is addicted to drugs or alcohol or anything, I'm here to tell you that God can set you free. No, I've never been through that, but that doesn't mean that I don't know that God can set you free. So, thank you for inviting me to Transformation Tuesday. And it's been great, and I hope that I've in some way helped you. So thank you, Ara, for trying to make it work, and thank you, Judy, and I love you all.